have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor.
Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Caps Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you can feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
And welcome to episode 384 of Sports on the Hill podcast. We're talking about the unfortunate loss to Atlanta. We're also talking about the upcoming game against the Chargers. We've got a live Thursday night football game that's about to go to halftime with the the Rams are down 7-14 in this one, the other LA team. So it's been a very exciting game so far, with the 49ers taking an early lead and coming back. And then the Yankees just took a big lead in their do-or-die game against the Red Sox. And so it's been really some exciting baseball. It had been 0-0 up to that point, but just having a really bad inning and falling apart in that one. I just realized that my power cable is not down here. I'm going to go grab that. But Sith and Champ, let people know how you guys are doing, and also the latest on from the No Spots podcast, and I'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Sith, go for it.
Yeah, Champ, go.
Oh, well, okay. So first and foremost, I'm good. I'm still getting over a little bit of a cold that I had last week, and still a little bit of yuckiness inside of me, but for the most part, doing pretty good. Currently watching both games that Robbie just talked about. The Yankees and Sox 4-0, still 2 outs in the fourth, and runners on first and second. Early, who was the rookie starter, just got replaced from the bullpen with what was that? It was Slater's, I believe it is, or Slayton. He just hit a batter, so now it's bases loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. The Red Sox look like they are imploding after really clutching up to get Game 1 in this wild card series. I got a lot to say about what Correa did on Wednesday with his pitching situation, but man, it's just getting worse for the Red Sox here in this elimination game against their hated rivals, the Yankees. But and I'm also watching San Francisco and LA. San Francisco just made a field goal to take it to the halftime. It's 17-7 San Francisco. And when it comes to the wrestling part, we got a lot going on when it comes to the wrestling. You have the showdown between NXT and TNA coming up next week. You have Title Tuesday coming up next week. You have a lot of things going on in wrestling, and we're going to be talking about that coming up this weekend with No Spots and everything. Sith, what's going on with you this evening, sir?
Oh, man, I got to tell you, I'm watching the San Francisco Chargers game, which is now 17-7 halftime.
Rams.
Field goal. Yeah, Rams.
You made the same mistake that Robbie did. Huh?
Yeah, Rams. But yeah, things are going good down here. Saw The Rock's new movie Sunday afternoon on No Spots, 3 p.m. You will find out what did I think of The Rock going away from his action comedy genre stuff into drama stuff that's real life. And also kind of an Oscar type bit here. So it's going to be intriguing what I think.
Slight spoiler: is it 5.0? Is it 5 stars or lower?
But it's not low.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
But it's good though. I really liked it.
Yeah. I appreciate both you guys being here. I appreciate everyone for joining in chat. I know it's a awkward Thursday, not a day that we normally do, but joining in, we got Tina, and we also got Richard Loves Music over on Twitch, and people are watching on all different platforms. Again, we're live on YouTube, Kick, Facebook, and Twitch. Twitch is if you want to play the games that you see on screen. YouTube is the archive, keeps track of all of it. Our Facebook channel, I share it to some different groups that talk about different sports, including the Commanders, and then Kick also exists. And it's been a crazy week. Let's just get right into it and talk about Sith's thoughts on the Commanders this week. I thought it was a disappointing loss. I was only half watching because my daughter was having her birthday party, but every dad had it on their phone. But Sith, what was your breakdown of this game?
Oh boy, it started off bad. Okay, when our defense gave up a big play that started the game literally in the first, I just had this sinking feeling like, oh boy, this is not going to end well. Um, Overall, when I look at this team, one is they don't give up. Even though they got themselves in two deep holes into this game, they did not give up, which is encouraging. But here's some stats here that really stick out. First downs. Atlanta had 24, we had 17. Okay. Passing on first down. Atlanta did 14 times, 8 times for us, Commanders. We were a little bit more balanced rushing first downs. 9 for the Falcons, 7 for us. First down from penalties. We had 2, Falcons had 1. Third down efficiency. Here's where we really got killed. 1 for 8 on third down. You cannot win games when you're 1 for 8 on third down. Yes, you can go 2 for 2 on fourth down, which is what we did. But here's a key stat, though. Atlanta was 50%, 6 out of 12 on third down, and 1 from 1 on fourth down. So when you take a look at that, the third down stats, those really stick out. We have got to get out. Mind you, we had a lot of banged up players. I get that. So hopefully with JD5 being cleared, which Coach Quinn announced yesterday, he's cleared. Hopefully the offense can get back into a bit of a frame of reference here, because 1 out of 8, that's abysmal in third down, to say the least. When you look at turnovers, we didn't lose a fumble. We did throw an interception, but so did Atlanta. So kind of evened out on that. Penalties were also probably at 6 penalties for 50 yards. And red zone, 1 out of 1, that's good. But Atlanta, 4 out of 6. So when you look at the stats, statistically, Atlanta beat us not only on the field, but also in the stat department as well. And it showed that we are a good team, but we're not the elite team yet.
Yeah, I definitely think the injuries were a problem. I kind of thought this was a trap game no matter who was the quarterback. I mean, I think JD, if we brought him back a week early, could have fallen into the same trap. I don't know. Atlanta, after losing that game as badly as they did, to a Carolina team that came back to earth against, a Patriots team, I don't know. I was worried about this last week. We talked about it, and yeah. Anyway, I'm still worried about next week too. I'm kind of mad at myself for changing the pick on air last week to picking us, because my gut was it was a trap game. I had picked it being a trap game before the season, but I was like, you know what? I'll go with us on blind faith, and I don't know. I don't feel great about this Chargers game, but Dan, I know we have a limited time, so I'm going to get your thoughts going forward on that game too, and then Champ, I'll get more of your thoughts on this past week. But Dan, what are your thoughts going into this game against the Chargers?
I'm going to use a quote from Tropic Thunder. I got a bad feeling. If you've seen Tropic Thunder, you know what I'm talking about here. I got a bad feeling about this game. As much as I want to say that we're going to be fine, this Chargers team is definitely better than what we bring to the table. Matter of fact, I think I might have to change my prediction on the pick 'em pool for Hurt and change it to a loss and bet against us because as much as I want us to win this game, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if this team can beat. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think we beat the Chargers. I think we're going to go on a little bit of a slide here, but then things will pick back up, though. So for people who are pushing the panic button, just stop. All teams usually go through a little bit of a dip. That's what's going on here. But I think once we get past this 2 games of the Chargers and then Kansas City, I think once we get those games out the way, things will start to go back up again.
Yeah. It's going to be, we have the Bears, right? After,
Yeah, the Bears.
Yes.
I think once we get to the Bears, I think we're going to start getting back into things.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you all my fall asleep game real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee, Arizona, 4 or 5 East on CBS. Tennessee is abysmal this year. They are abysmal. So if y'all are looking for a game to watch on demand that you want to take a nap, there's the game where you can just take a nap for 3 hours. You're not going to miss much on the replay.
Yeah. All right, Seth, I want you to give a couple of quick wrestling takes, anything you want to talk about in the wrestling world, and then I'm going to get Champ's more expanded thoughts on everything, but also any other shout-outs you wanted to give for the basement before we have to let you go.
Well, real quick, note to AEW. Look, I agree with Dave Meltzer, which is a complete shock to me and Champ because I hardly agree with the bastard. But he's right. It looks like AEW going up against NXT TNA next week, where there's Super Show that they're doing. Looks like they threw in the towel because the only match they promoted is Mercedes Moné versus some wrestler from Florida. That's it for Title Tuesday. It's like, okay, you needed to put more on Dynamite to promote Title Tuesday to get people hooked. Don't rely on Collision to do it, which appears what they're going to be doing is relying on Saturday Night Collision. It's just like, what? As far as WWE is concerned, I'm looking forward to NXT TNA Showdown. That's going to be a lot of fun. Matter of fact, I was talking to Champ right before we came on, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be watching that live. I'll watch AEW on Max and HBO Max the next morning, but really looking forward to the Survivor Series type matches between TNA and NXT, and also the Hardys versus Dark State, because we both expect a wonky finish because you're not going to unify those titles. But that looks like a really good put together card. And the only other problem we have, which is something I discussed with Champ in episode 302, WrestlePalooza. Bruh, this is your debut on ESPN DTC. And it looked no better than the last Saturday night's main event. Matter of fact, that last Saturday night's main event back that went up against AEW All in Texas was better than WrestlePalooza. Champ and I both gave it a C plus. And then when I kept on thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I was too generous and should have given it a C. Because it's something that Champ and I have both agreed. If you're going to compete up against your competition, you put your best foot forward no matter what. You just don't go, oh, my diehards are going to show up.
How did the ratings shake out though? Did it still crush it, or even without that?
ESPN gave it a C.
But no, I know that's what the people they valued it at. But I'm just wondering how many people tuned in. Do we have any sense if people tuned? Yeah,
no idea. There haven't been numbers that have been put out there, but I'm pretty sure that when you joined me for live reactions that night to WrestlePalooza, I was watching the last hour of the All In card at the same time, and I'm sure that a lot of people that ordered All In stuck with that card. All Out stuck with All Out to watch the last hour. Then maybe go find a way to watch WrestlePalooza. Or they probably didn't watch it at all, because a lot of the people I know that don't have that new ESPN app, they either used a VPN, they traveled the seven seas, or they didn't bother watching it at all. I was watching it on my VPN on my flat screen. So when I was live reacting to that, we were watching me live react to the Netflix thing the entire night. That's how I'll be watching Crown Jewel and probably Survivor Series is through a VPN, because ESPN has to work out a deal with Xfinity. And I found out something. Xfinity's contracts with YouTube TV and Xfinity expire at close to the end of the year. So they're going to be working hard to nail down deals if they can do that.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that later. But YouTube TV is struggling. They're having some troubles with the Universal contracts and Monumental contracts, and I'll definitely do a little bit of a rant later on that. But it's
We need you
difficult
to
out
clip
there.
that so we can post it on TikTok and whatnot.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
going to be an epic burial. Oh, hold on, champ! I'm throwing Robbie the shovel right now. Catch it, Robbie.
Yeah, I got it.
All right,
So we'll
Sid
definitely,
Spaceman.
yeah.
Sid Spaceman. We're smack dab at the middle of the top 580 songs ranked by Billboard, and we're doing numbers 300 to 251 this week. And you like some songs at the beginning where the nostalgia just isn't there, and it should be. But then when you get to your movie assignments, there's a body horror film from 91 that I saw with my dad in theaters, and it just stuck with me. And I rewatched it the night right after watching No Mercy with Champ. After watching NXT No Mercy, went onto my app that I have on my Fire Stick, and I rewatched it, and I'm like, this was awesome. So all of that, 5 p.m. So the best thing to do is No Spots, 3 p.m. Sunday night. Then after No Spots, listen to The Basement on Spotify.
Love it. Thank you, Sith, for joining us. Hopefully, we'll see you in the next couple of weeks, and hope that we have a more exciting victory Monday next week. And we appreciate your time as always.
I'll take it easy. Robbie, Champ, love you guys. Y'all, my brothers. Everyone in the chat, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to break down now with you, Champ, a lot of the same sorts of things right now. The Yankees did just get an out here in the bottom of the fifth. They're still up 4-0, and it's 17-7 just starting up here in the third in this live game on Prime, which is also on. I'm actually watching it on Twitch. I decided, since we're on Twitch, to put the view there instead of the Prime app. And but Champ, rough week for the Commanders. What was your takeaways from this game?
This was one of the worst performances by this defense since Joe Witt became the defensive coordinator. They gave up 307 yards through the air to second-year quarterback Michael Penix. Penix did have that one really bad interception right straight to Mikey Sainristil, but that was one of the few mistakes that Atlanta had in this game. They only gave up one sack, so they were able to keep Penix protected. Penix was able to move around a lot. 435 yards of total offense for Atlanta, and this is coming off a week after they didn't even score a run. Not a run. I'm watching a baseball game. They didn't score at all against Carolina. Carolina is 1/5, even 1/10 of the caliber of talent that the Commanders have on defense, but yet Carolina was able to shut them out, whereas Washington just looked overmatched. And then offensively, there was no help there. Offensively, with only 294 yards of total offense, it was even split down the middle in terms of yardage in the air and yardage on the ground, 147 across the board. But that also includes the fact that Mariota was sacked twice, and he also threw an interception as well. Both quarterbacks threw an interception. And then, of course, time of possession went the way of Atlanta at 34-15 to 25-45. So, and then Sif alluded to this as well. Third down efficiency is very, very key. It means that you're able to get off the field when you need to. And unfortunately, Washington wasn't able to do that. It was a 50-50 chance they were going to get off the field when you look at the efficiency, 6-12 for Atlanta. And then, of course, Commanders couldn't stay on the field on third down, 1 of 8, even though they were 2 of 2 on fourth downs. But, that's not a stat you really want to be, excelling in, especially in a game where you were trailing most of the game. And that was the key thing here. And then you could tell with missing a lot of your offensive weapons, it really affected them. Chris Rodriguez led the team in yards with 59, but he shared the lead in carries with Bill Krosky-Merritt. They both had 7s. Krosky-Merritt had 47 yards while Rodriguez had 59. McNichols only 3 yards on 2 carries, which is a big cry from that big run he had a week prior. And Deebo Samuels was the leading receiver for the Commanders, 6 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Luke McCaffrey getting his second career NFL touchdown. And this one, he only had 2 catches for 21 yards. Jalen Lane, 2 catches, 18 yards. So not really a lot of yardage production in terms of the pass game. And then, again, defensively, they just looked really overmatched. Louvu was the man who got the lone sack on Michael Penix Jr., and it just was not the best look on all sides of the ball. Matt Gay was perfect on field goals, including a 52-yarder, which was his longest of the day. So and then he did have an extra point as well. So a good day for him at least, but the score of 34-27 doesn't truly encompass how much Atlanta pretty much dominated this game from start to finish, and that's where we ended up with the 34-27 score. So now the Commanders definitely have to bounce back. They get JD5 back as they head out west to the Chargers, but they still won't have McLaurin. McLaurin was officially ruled out today for a second straight game with that quad injury, and so you're still going to be relying on Deebo as well as McCaffrey and Lane as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
The other LA team just missed a field goal. I mean, it's 52 or 53 yards, so it's not easy, but just hooked it right. And 49ers fans are loving it in San Francisco right now, up 17-7 still in the third quarter. But Botswana.
I think I picked San Francisco in this game, actually.
Dang you. I went back and forth, and I did not pick them in this game.
I picked the Rams because I figured they weren't going to have a couple of their receivers. They still don't have Kittle, and then Purdy was going to be out, so they were going back to Mac Jones because Purdy's out with that toe injury. And also, I didn't hear about this stat until long after I picked this game, but apparently the Rams coach is 9-1 on Thursday night football games. So he rarely loses on a short week, but right now they're losing by 10. So,
interesting.
Hoping that they're able to turn it around here.
Yeah. All right. I am going to. Does this work right here? No. Is it this screen? This button. Fix. I think that's good. All right. Sorry, I was getting our share up here because I thought it was a good segue to talk about this upcoming week a little bit, but we're also going to go back and look at week 4 a little bit as well. But yeah, this is I picked the Rams in this game, so that's disappointing. All right, let's go back to week 4. I do see that Botswana is our newest follower, so welcome on in. And he says he grew up a Red Sox fan, but he has no connection with Boston at all. My grandpa fell in love with them and passed the tradition down to me. That's fair. Yeah, my dad is from New York, is a big Yankees fan, but then took me to O's games as a kid because I've lived here all my life in Maryland. Then I became a Nats fan later in life. But so I root for the Yankees just because of him, and one of my son's best friends at school is a diehard Yankees fan. So I don't want that poor kid to be crying in the morning. But it's hard. As a former O's fan, I don't like either of these teams, but it's an exciting rivalry, and I love do or die game threes, or game fives or game sevens, and it's always exciting, especially for it to come down to it. We'll definitely talk a little bit of baseball towards the end of the podcast. Maybe even get a special guest to come in for that as well. But thank you for joining us, Bots One, and also Troy had a question earlier. There's some injuries to the Chargers. Their left tackle, he said, and their guard is apparently out. I hadn't heard that, but do you? Champ, had you A, heard that, and B, do you think that will matter in this upcoming matchup?
I haven't heard anything, but one thing I've noticed in the history of football is that one of the units that needs the most continuity and the most the togetherness is your offensive line, and if you lose even one member of that line, it could cause a ripple effect of effectiveness on that line. And so if they are going to be missing a member of that offensive line, that could give Joe Witt and his defense their opening to basically pin their ears back and just go after Justin Herbert and really make his day a very, very uncomfortable one. So we'll have to keep an eye on that situation and see what's going on with that. But this could be an opening for that front seven to be able to really go after Herbert and really make his life a living hell back there, honestly.
Yeah. I have a question, just because I just saw a camera that I hadn't really seen before. There's a camera on one of the helmets. Is it on the umpire or on the catcher for the one where it's like behind the player? Do you know?
I think it's on the umpire.
Okay, that would make sense. Either
it might be on the catcher too. Because I've seen that camera angle because they look at it because I guess it's their way of preparing for next season when they have the ABS system installed into games where you can challenge a ball or strike call and possibly get it reversed if they feel it's not the right call. So it might be on the catcher. It might be on the umpire. I have to see that angle again just to.
Yeah, it's a cool angle. I didn't.
It is. It's a really nice angle. I really like that angle, honestly.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. It's funny because I don't like it from the goalie's perspective in hockey, but I kind of liked it in that one. But anyway, let's talk about a couple other week 4 matchups. I was unfortunately wrong. The Steelers did beat the Vikings. We went back and forth on this on a lot last week, Champ.
Yeah.
What were your takeaway from this game?
Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, even though a lot of people seen it have lost a lot of he's lost a lot of favor with a lot of fans over the last few years and everything, but despite the fact that he's up there in age, he's basically a certified first ballot Hall of Famer the moment that he retires. 5 years from the day that he retires, he's going into the Hall of Fame first ballot. I mean, he's already passed Brett Favre for career touchdowns. He's now fourth alone on that list. And I mean, they were able to do what they needed to do. Carson Wentz in that offense was good, but it still was not enough. And I think that Minnesota, we'll talk about it later, but I think Minnesota has a better chance next week because they're going to already be used to that time zone because they played in Dublin and then they're playing in London this coming week. And I think they stayed over there instead of flying back to the United States just to fly back. They stayed. So they're going to get used to that Greenwich Means time. So whoever they play next week has to get used to it. And I think they're going to have that advantage. But I think both teams had the disadvantage of having to get used to being 5 or so hours ahead of East Coast time. And, that's something that it's hard to get used to and things like that. So I think that's what happened here. And I think that the Steelers were a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate the nice words from Botswan. He's having a good time the first time in this podcast, so I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for watching, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Kick, Twitch. The Lions crushed the Browns. We expected that. The Chargers did lose to the Giants in a surprise game. So I guess going to the rookie did make sense. Champ, any thoughts on this one?
Jackson Dart looked really, really good. I mean, really good. And also, with the injury to Tracy, Cam Scatterbo, who's another rookie, was really, really sharp in this one as well. And I think that was the big difference, though they did lose their sensational wide receiver, Malik Neighbors, to a torn ACL. So that's one part of their offense is going to be gone for the rest of the season. And OBJ, Odell Beckham, had some choice words when it came to the turf at MetLife Field. It seems like that turf at MetLife Field seems to be taking out a lot of people over the years when it comes to season-ending injuries. Remember what happened to Aaron Rodgers, his very first game with the Jets, popping his Achilles and ended up missing that season. And a lot of people say he hasn't been the same since, even though he's still out there winging it the way he is. But this was a game that I was pretty shocked at the result, because a lot of people were calling for Jackson Dart. They wanted Jackson Dart. And they said, why would you draft him so high and then have him sit behind either Jameis Winston or behind Russell Wilson? And then Russell went out there and didn't get him a win, didn't give him a chance to win. Jackson Dart went out there and not only gave him a chance to win, got him a win.
Yeah, for sure. I was surprised, but I guess I shouldn't have been. I mean, the Giants have been playing decent ball, even though they've been losing. But they gave the Cowboys a run for their money in that game, and so it was an interesting thing. The Patriots crushed the Panthers, came back to the form as expected. The Eagles did beat the Buccaneers in a battle of two teams that were 3-0. But the Eagles, once again, getting a little bit lucky, here and there. But, they find ways to win. The Texans did finally get that win over the Titans that looked terrible. That one was 26-0. The Bills beat the Saints in what we expected to be, 0-3 versus a 3-0 team. And then we got the Rams and the Colts. The Rams did beat the Colts 27-20, giving the Colts their first loss of the season. And then the San Francisco 49ers, I got this one wrong. I thought that they were going to beat the Jaguars, and then because they lost this one, I was the reason I picked in this one. So I'm going to be wrong potentially 2 times in a row for San Francisco. They're right now right on the 3rd and goal, 17-7 right now, with 6:40 left in the third quarter, and a timeout is called. It's an interesting time to use a timeout, but they want to get this play obviously right, and so they'll use their first charge timeout of the second half. But before we get into the Ravens game, I do want to talk about that. Any of these games that you wanted to break down a little bit more, Champ?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of really good games. And of course, there were some blowouts like the Patriots and the Panthers. I'm happy that I have Sunday tickets so that I can watch Red Zone and be able to see some of these games as they were happening. I mean, Philadelphia has to be the luckiest undefeated team that's left in the NFL right now. I mean, they just seem to just find ways, but man, the Tampa Bay not make it easy on them as well. And then that Jaguars San Francisco game was exciting all the way up to the very end. T-Law bringing them back and bringing it to that victory over with Purdy, who ended up dealing with turf soreness, and which is why he's not playing in the game tonight, because it's a short week. Someone's down. Is that Mac Jones?
Oh, shit.
I think that's Mac Jones down. Oh, they can't afford this. With Purdy being hurt, they can't afford to have their backup be hurt either.
Oh, no, this might be a pivotal changing moment in this in this game because now it's 4th and goal. And so let's see what happened here on this play. I missed it. So it looks like Young is going in, swim move, and then he tackles him and he brings it down. Oh, is it a knee? I'm trying to see here. On the edge rush, he gets crumpled under. It looks like all of his weight falls on his arm, but I guess he like maybe pulled or is it a cramp maybe? I don't know. He's grabbing at his leg, so we got a leg problem here. So we'll see what happens in that game. All right. So unfortunately, this Ravens Chiefs game was just not very good, and a lot of my Ravens fans were like, "Oh, we got to be able to crush the Chiefs. It's a down year for them." But it's like, it's crazy that both these teams were 1 and 2, and so one of them had to go to 1 and 3, and both of them were perennial playoff teams. The last couple of years, but champ, it was ugly for the Ravens at times.
Patrick Mahomes was activated in this one, man. 4 touchdown passes. I mean, he was on it this game. I mean, he picked a hell of a game to want to suddenly show everybody why he's a former MVP, why this team has won 2 Super Bowls since he's been drafted. This was the statement game for his Chiefs team to let everybody know, hey, you bitches don't realize we're still the Chiefs, damn it. We're still one of the best teams in the NFL, and we just showed it here against the team that didn't have a former MVP themselves, and Lamar Jackson, who left the game with an injury, and it's looking like he's doubtful to play this weekend for the Ravens, and it showed, and it was just not a very close game between these two teams, and I think that this might end up being the catalyst game for this Chiefs team to really start to turn it on and make that run back to the Super Bowl again, or at least back to the playoffs, and see what they can do here. But their schedule's not going to get any easier, and they're going to have to really, really turn it on. But they were really able to do it this game against the Ravens, and like you said, it wasn't close at all.
Yeah. I'm just disappointed. I was hoping at least one of these teams would win. I used all the good karma on my daughter's awesome birthday. If people want to check that out, it's actually my latest YouTube video and latest Instagram and Facebook video. I did a cute one. She got to have a unicorn at the birthday and had a great 4th birthday. So it was worth giving up the good karma for the sports teams because it was perfect weather, perfect day. I was just so exhausted by the end of that, and then we did a birthday dinner on Monday that we just had to push this to today. But I really appreciate everyone for tuning in, and we got some new friends joining us as well. So we got the Bears beating the Raiders in a surprising game. Did you have any takeaways on that one?
Yes, actually, Caleb Williams really, we a lot of people give him a lot of shit for his inconsistency, but he was able to really push this team to a victory on the road in Las Vegas in what was a very solid game between both of these teams. I mean, both of these teams really played tough against each other, but Caleb was able to really push it through and get them the W here. And I mean, Chicago really needed it because they've been struggling this season, and for them to be able to turn it around, to be able to go on the road and get a big road W over a team that's also been struggling was, something else. Geno Smith just continues to struggle at quarterback. I won't be surprised if he has another bad game like that and Pete Carroll decides to go another direction with it, because Geno Smith has thrown 6 interceptions in the last 2 games, I believe, and that's not a recipe for success, especially when you're a new head coach and you have proven success and you used to coach Geno Smith when he was in Seattle, yet somehow it's not working out now. You're going to end up having to make a change sooner rather than later, and you got to do something with that offensive line because you have a talented rookie running back in Ashton Genty who's not getting the running room that he needs because that offensive line is not very good. So that's something else that has to be addressed if this team is going to turn it around. But really, this is one of the better games of week 4.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
The Rams just took a field goal lead. Great play in the outfield by the Yankees. Two players almost collided, but a great catch was made. Makes that one out now in the top of the seventh. Boston's still down 4-0 in this do or die game for them. So against 20-7, we're still about halfway through the third. The Rams are trying to figure out a way to get things going. Unfortunately, I have to throw it and on first down.
By the way, congratulations to Cam Schlittler, who this is his first time in his career at any level of the pros with 10 plus strikeouts in a game. What a time to do it in a series decider to move on to the ALDS for this young man to go out there and put down 10 plus just with his arm. What a start for him.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, first down for the Rams in that game as well. All right, let's get to the game that it's kind of we've all been waiting for in some ways, and there's a couple more games, but this is, man. So the Cowboys were winning at halftime because they returned a blocked extra point for a 2-point conversion, so they were up by a score of 16-13. Weird score, right? And I was like, I'm not watching the second half. I don't want to watch the Cowboys somehow beat the Packers, even though we've been talking shit all week saying that they were going to lose to the Packers. And so, I was like, man, I hope that they lose, but I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not going to watch the rest of this. And boy, did I miss a hell of a game. Back and forth, crazy game, overtime game, and then some crazy ending with timing. It means that the Packers had to basically settle for a tie, which, and both teams were talking about after the game. They both felt like it was a loss. And the Cowboys said it was the first time they'd had a tie since Dak had become a member of the team. So, Champ, walk us through a little bit of this crazy Sunday Night Football game.
Yeah, you definitely missed a hell of a second half. I watched this game from beginning to end, and it was just basically like a heavyweight title fight where, one man throws a haymaker and you feel like that the man who got hit with the haymaker was going to get rocked and he's going to go down, but he doesn't go down. He's able to get his guard up. He throws a haymaker in response, and you're thinking he's going to go down, and he doesn't. And it was basically like a 15 round, because I'm old school, it was basically like a 15 round draw between two heavyweight fighters. That's how this game felt like. But what really, really bothered me, and I even talked to my friend who is a diehard Packers fan, and she was not happy about it either, was the time management towards the end. Less than 30 seconds, and you get stopped in bounds, and you just basically fall asleep. You basically fall asleep before you end up throwing a pass that just barely got incomplete with a second left on the clock to give yourself a chance at a tie. If that ball was thrown a half a second later, Packers lose by 3 in overtime, period. But instead, we're talking about a tie here as the Yankees pitcher once again gets a K. I think that's it for him on this game. But what a start for him. But yeah, this was another game right here that I think was one of the best games of the week right here. It's just is a shame that it ended in a tie. But with what happened towards the tail end of overtime, honestly, and I'm gonna be completely transparent and blunt here, Packers deserve to lose that game with the way that they ended that overtime period. They deserve to lose. They just got lucky that they got a tie.
Yeah, well, that's so crazy. So that was his 100th pitch, and he just got another strikeout. So you don't think I guess it makes sense if there only have 2 innings left. Don't waste that arm. You're gonna need it in the next round because
usually when they get around 100 pitches, that's when managers will go to the bullpen regardless of what inning it is. They usually try this new generation of pitchers and pitching staffs. They you don't get to see a lot of guys that go over 100 pitches and things like that. And like you said, it is basically to preserve his arm because you got a 5-game series coming up. If you win this game, if the score holds the way it is, they still have a 5-game series coming up. So they're definitely going to need his arm. depending on how that series goes, because he's going to pitch in 5 days, which will probably be game 3, which could be either to stay alive or to clinch or what have you, depending on how it could be game 4 or something like that. So they're definitely going to need him to, rest and get ready. But what an electric performance for him in what it looks to be his first career postseason start in a game that, the winner moves on. So that's the type of performance right there that's going to get you noticed throughout the league, especially next year, because then they're going to know, okay, this kid right here is going to be a problem for anybody that plays the Yankees when he's on the bump.
Yeah. Oh, damn, there's a cool toxic croak in chat, and I did not try for it. Anyway, I like Bots one. He said we got schlitted on, which is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, because his name is Schlittler. Okay.
Right.
Why am I explaining someone else's joke? What the hell am I doing? Can we move on, please?
All right, we got a Los Angeles Rams touchdown now. They trailed the 49ers 13-20 to put some pressure on it. Great grab. I mean, it was sort of on the turf, and he was able to pick it up there. Big. They're now only 6 back, and see San Francisco what they're going to do with this quarterback situation over here. This game is definitely heating up on Thursday Night Football on Twitch, and I guess also Prime. But
I'm watching on Prime. Fuck me.
And all right, let's get into those last 2 games. Dolphins won because of the awesome jerseys. I predicted it. No, these are two shitty teams. Both 0-3. I was having a hard time picking them. I did like those jerseys though, but it was the Miami Dolphins did just enough, and the Jets did up, and so 27-21 in that one. And
but that Miami win did come with a huge loss, though.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Tyreek Hill suffering that gruesome dislocated kneecap, which also revealed some cartilage tears, including his ACL. His season is done. But his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, who do we really believe anything that comes out of an agent's mouth, especially one known like him? But he says that he won't need any more surgeries, and that his goal is to start opening week next season. But his season is done, and it's crazy because I didn't see it in real time, but I saw the replay of the injury, and I saw the way his leg bent, and I was just like, at first I thought, oh, it's a dislocated knee. Oh, he's fine, because I've dislocated my kneecap, but I was fine in like a couple months. But then when I saw the injury itself, I said, oh yeah, he's fucking done. He's out of there, bro.
I need an ACL for sure, or something, because legs don't bend that direction. So
yeah, and that's one of the fears when you do dislocate a kneecap or anything like that, because that was one of the fears that happened to me when I dislocated my kneecap the first time in high school. They had to do an MRI to make sure I didn't tear any ligaments, and luckily for me, I didn't. But I did have a clean dislocation of my right kneecap and things like that. But in Tyreek's situation, it was a dislocation with several ligaments being torn off and everything like that. So that's an unfortunate situation for him. And it was it wasn't looking like it was going to be a really good season for him, the way that Tua's been struggling. And so now this Miami Dolphins offense is going to have to really figure it out without Tyreek being in the lineup now. But they were able to pull it together against the Jets. The Jets made it interesting, though. That's the other thing I have to mention. The Jets made it very interesting towards the end of that game, though. That's why it was only 27-21. Jets made it interesting towards the end of that game, but they weren't able to get the onside kick, and that's what led to them losing. But they made it very interesting. And Justin Fields had a really good 43-yard touchdown run on 4th and 1 to really pull it back for the Jets. But man, the Jets better figure it out damn quick. Otherwise, this might be a one-and-done season for Aaron Glenn, honestly. And I like Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is such a really cool cool coach.
Is this a fumble and a return for a touchdown? They said that he was down, but I think they should review this. I think that ball is out. And, yeah.
I think they are going to challenge this one.
But then they blew the whistle, right? So they stopped the play, so even they can't run it back for the touchdown, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see this play call here because I think this is a bad call, unless they were saying forward progress. Um, but I don't know. I think
Hang
this
on,
is
I can listen to the commentary real quick. Hang on.
But while he does that, I'm going to take a look at this. So the Broncos did beat the Cincinnati Bengals 28-3, and I also want to give a couple other scoring updates. The Mammoth have scored their second goal of the game against the Kings in that preseason game, and unfortunately, the Capitals were having a bit of a rough game going. They have had an incredible 4-0 preseason, but I'm kind of happy that it's not a perfect preseason because leaves something to be desired. It's against Boston, and yeah.
By the way, Robbie, real quick update on that. They said that it was forward progress, which is not reviewable. So, yeah, it's still San Francisco's ball.
Yeah, it's frustrating. So I kind of don't mind losing to this Boston team when exactly 1 week later we're gonna see them in a regular season matchup, just because it'll give them a little bit of hunger. You never want to go undefeated in preseason. I feel like it gives teams like this false sense of security. There's always more that you can be working on. It is frustrating. Our friend Tim was at the game, so I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit of a better game. He did get to see a Ryan Leonard goal, which is great. In the first period, they were up 1-0. They did the next three goals were scored by Boston. They take the win against it's a preseason game, so it doesn't mean a lot. Ovechkin did play. He did have a -2 in this game, but he did get 3 hits and a shot on goal in about 21 minutes of play. So getting some rink rust off of him. He had not played yet in our 4-0 start, which is giving a lot of the young guys a good opportunity to get some playing time and for us to figure out those last 2 forward spots. So just want to talk a little bit of hockey in that. So I'm excited in the next couple of weeks we will be upping the hockey talk, including doing a season preview next week at about 10:30 on Monday, and then hopefully with Gil and maybe some other hockey guests. And then the following week, we'll have Hockey Talk back at our normal time at 9 o'clock while we will live watch the Commanders game. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll pick up the Commanders game a little bit further into it with our football crew. So that'll be a fun watch along, our first watch along sports event of this fall season. So we've broke down all these games. Let's take a look at the upcoming week with week 5. And then after that, we will get into some baseball talk. And yeah, let's get into week 5. We're watching this Rams 49ers game, which is getting close. So maybe our picks might not be wrong yet. The Vikings and Browns. What is your takeaway from this? Do you think the Vikings use the get back right game, or do you think that the Browns find a way to get a win at home?
Well, Dylan Gabriel is actually going to start. They benched Flacco for this game, and I think for the rest of the season, I don't know what Gabriel's going to bring to the table. The lefty coming out of Oregon, I think this is a get right game for Minnesota. So I went with Minnesota.
Yeah, we've got 2 interesting games. We got one, a Colts team that's really strong against a Raiders team that has struggled, but we've seen has some stretches and moments where they've looked okay. I want you to talk about both that game. I'm going to refill my water, as well as I want you to talk about this Giants game, who are now with this new quarterback look pretty good, but the Saints need to get a win here. So talk about those 2 games real quick, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, so when it comes to the Colts and Vegas, Vegas again has struggled mightily this season, and Geno Smith has not been able to not turn the ball over, and I think that's been a big problem for them over the last couple of games. I think that if they can figure that out, then I think they could be fine. But I'm actually going to go with Indy on this one. I'm liking what Daniel Jones and that offense has been doing. Yeah, they fell short in week 4, but I think that they still are going to be a very formidable force in the AFC South. And with the way that the Tennessee Titans are struggling, it's going to be interesting to see how the AFC South is able to to deal with the Colts moving forward. For the Giants and the New Orleans Saints, Jackson Dart has definitely put a spark into that team. Yes, they lost Malik Neighbors, but I think that Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton are going to be able to step up and really be good targets for the young rookie Jackson Dart. And then again, Cam Scatterboo has just proven that he is such a dog when it comes to a running back. I mean, this dude just takes on contact like it's nothing. It's almost like the reincarnation of Mike Allstott. Mike Allstott ain't even dead, but Cam Scatterboo feels like the reincarnation of Mike Allstott, and he's not even a fullback. But I think that the Giants win this one. New Orleans just can't get it together. Spencer Rattler, I think, was not the best choice for them in terms of starting quarterbacks, but I don't know who was his backup. But they are expected to possibly get back Taysom Hill within the next couple of weeks. He's going to be eligible to come off the PUP list, and they're going to have 21 days to activate him starting today, I believe. So so if they can get Taysom Hill back, that's going to be a very dynamic player in their offense to be able to help the Saints. But I think they lose to the Giants. I think the Colts win as Slittler gets another freaking K. This dude is back out there in the eighth and still striking people out with high 90s.
It's filthy. It's filthy.
With high 90 stuff, and he's over 100 pitches. Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, I think you ride the horse though. Right now, 5 pitches getting a K. If you can do that 3 to get you to your closer, just.
Oh, he caught! Oh, he got it! He got it and flipped it to the dugout, the Red Sox dugout.
Wait,
get fucking shit on.
Wait, what happened?
Ryan McMahon chased down a pop fly in the foul territory, caught it, and flipped over into the Red Sox dugout to make the out.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm way behind you. There it is. Oh, shit. Whoa. That's a crazy fucking play. Well, I guess that only took one more pitch.
Wow. What a play. That's how you play for your pitcher right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you play for your pitcher who's going out there and has pitched a gem of a game, a shutout, by the way, deep into the game, 106 pitches.
Wow, the replays are crazy. What a flip. Oh my god. That's gotta be a Sports Center, right? A top 10.
Oh, that's definitely gonna be a top 10 on Sports Center. Definitely. And then he just got a ground ball and a sinker on one pitch. 107 pitches, a 5-hit shutout with 12 Ks in his very first playoff start.
Oh my god, I'm seeing the sinker now. God damn. You put him in for the 9th, or you just go to your closer?
Nah, you gotta go to your closer at this point. You gotta go to your closer.
No, he's being efficient. Anyway, but this is honestly like to allow only 5 hits. With I guess that they had one error, but man, what a game! What a game! Anyway, I'm sorry, Bots won. I know that it's funny. There's a couple people. Let him finish just to add insult to the injuries. What Bots one says. I don't know if complete game and a shutout champ and a playoff game. Yeah.
That would put him into Yankees lore if he goes out there, a rookie starter
one batter,
goes out there on his very first career playoff start and throws a complete game 5-hit complete game shutout to get them into the NLDS. Are you serious? He would be a legend. That man wouldn't have to buy any food or drink in New York for at least a month if he goes back out there and finishes this shutout. I think Aaron Boone's going to go to his bullpen, but if he comes back out and he finishes this shutout, that man don't have to buy any food or drink in New York for at least a month, if not the remainder of this year.
So I think give him one batter, right? You have to, in my mind, right? Like at this point, like if he doesn't get him out, then you go to your closer, and you're up 4. I don't know, like it's not like if it was like a 1-0 game, I might feel different, but I think he deserves at least one batter. So
We'll see.
And then you go from there. Well, we'll see. We'll get to cover it live, so I'm excited. It's definitely been an exciting game. I am sorry that it's like I don't have that many people watching on Twitch right now, and most of them are rooting for the Red Sox, so I kind of feel bad. It's at least some exciting baseball for sure. All right, let's keep going on here. We got Cowboys and Jets. I mean, the Jets are pretty awful, and the Cowboys desperately need to win.
Jets are trash.
Yeah.
They're not winning. They're not winning that one.
Right. So one of the 2 Cowboys wins in that stadium this year. So we got the Eagles and the Broncos. I mean, you can't bet against the Eagles until somebody tells me otherwise, right? Like, what are your thoughts?
I mean, Bo Nix and that office is playing really good. You see, they boat raced Cincinnati on Monday night and whatnot, but this is a different team, the Raiders Super Bowl champs. So I don't think you go boat race them, but I do think that Philly's gonna take it, but it's gonna definitely be a close game.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The Eagles are just fucking lucky and good, and it's a bad combo, and I don't like them. So it's like we're gonna move on. I guess this is the game where I get to pick the Dolphins again, because I think the Panthers showed who they really were, and I think that I don't know. I still don't understand how they beat the Falcons so badly, and we lost to them. I don't know, but champ, do you see it this way too? The Dolphins beating the Panthers.
Yes, I think they're going to be motivated with the injury to one of their stars in Tyreek Hill. I think they're going to be motivated. I think they figured it out somewhat with the Jets, who is a division rival, and I think they're going to go into Carolina, and I think they're going to get the W here. But this might be one of them bowling shoe ugly games, honestly, because I think Tua still hasn't really figured it out. So we'll see. But I think Miami wins in an ugly one.
Yeah, I kind of agree. All right, this Thursday night football game is getting exciting. The Rams got the ball back. They did a lot of dancing on the return, but didn't get very many yards on it. But they have the ball, and they have an opportunity here to take the lead late in this game. So some exciting stuff going on in that matchup right now. We got the Texans and the Ravens. I know the Ravens are without their quarterback, but I feel like they have to get this win here. I think, especially at home. But how do you see this, champ?
Texans are not better than Baltimore. Baltimore loses this game. I hate to say it, but I think Ravens fans need to hit the panic button. If they lose to Texans at home, they gotta hit the panic button because there's no way that the Texans can come into your house and you're way better than them and they beat you. That should not happen. If it does happen, panic button.
Yeah. No, if they're 1-4, they're not making the playoffs. I'm sorry. Like that's not many teams come back from 1-4 and make the playoffs in a season. I'm just being real. I mean, I've seen it. The DC team has been one of those teams, but it's not easy to do. The statistics have got to be against them at that point. First down, though, for the Rams here as they start to march down the field. 13:08 left here in the fourth quarter. Nice pass down the field. Almost is picked off, though. We'll see what happens here on second down.
God, I love Aldrich Chapman, man. This is a dude right here. He is the perfect bullpen arm. Like, he throws nothing but gas. And he knows how to get outs. Like, this dude has just thrown 2 straight 100+ mile an hour heaters to Jazz Chisholm Jr. and has him at 0-2. And he has a really nasty sinker as well, which can hopefully induce a inning double play to get the offense up to try to get back in this game if they're going to move on. The winner of this game, and by the way, faces Toronto in the NLDS. So a lot at stake here, and they're only going to have one day off, which is Friday, and then the series starts Saturday. So they have one day off before they got to get back at it. So this is a big one here.
They'll have to fly internationally to Toronto and so that's, it is what it is. It's easy to do, but, it's not like, going to Boston or because like the whole entire country is against you, like it's a different vibe. In fact, in a little bit, we're gonna have some people from Toronto joining us live on Sports on the Hill podcast. So it'll be an international podcast where we get to talk about after this game, preview that next round matchup and talk about some of the other playoff matchups as well. So that's coming up at about 11 o'clock Eastern here as we continue to go through some of these rest of these games here. Here comes that snooze fest game that Sith was talking about at the 405 game, the Cardinals and the Titans. Titans look real bad. The Cardinals, I think, are a really good team. So this should be, in my mind, a blowout. But Champ, do you see it that way?
I'm tired of picking the fucking Titans, thinking they're going to get an upset, and then they don't. I'm tired. I'm not picking them. I'm picking Arizona in this one. It's not going to be a blowout, but I think that Arizona at home, they play really well at home from what I've noticed, and I think that's going to be a similar situation here. They're going to play really well at home and get the W. Tennessee, I don't know what the fuck is going on with them.
Yeah, Chapman's throwing more gas. 12 pitches in, and he already got 2 outs, and we're 0-1 here. Anyway, this next football game, though, is very exciting. We got this Buccaneers-Seahawks game. This is the 405 CBS game between 2, 3, and 1 really good teams. This was one of the hardest picks I had this week. I'm going with Tampa Bay because I think that they got hosed and they're a really good team against the Eagles. But, Champ, what do you see about it's in Seattle? Seattle's a tough place to play.
I got to go with the 12s, man. I got to go with the 12s. Sam Darnold, he already showed that he is still a really good quarterback and can start in this league. He showed that in Minnesota when JJ went down with that torn meniscus, and he went up there and had Minnesota look like one of the best offenses in the league, and now he's doing that here with Seattle. Tampa Bay has also been a really, really tough team so far this season, only having the one loss against the Eagles. This is going to be a fun game, but I'm going with Seattle.
Wow,
nice.
Stafford just threw 2 great throws, and the second one gets them right into the red zone with a 1st and goal. But Stafford is just tearing them apart. Still 11-14 left in this 4th quarter, so anything can happen.
And by the way, the Yankees weren't able to extend their lead. Chapman striking out, getting a strikeout with a nasty splitter to end the inning. So now this Red Sox last chance to try to get back into this game. Otherwise, they're going to be going home and watching the rest of the playoffs. We'll see if Slittler comes back out for the night, or if they go the closer. I think it would be a safe situation, honestly, if they go with their closer.
Oh yeah, I guess it is because it's just barely maybe. I don't know. Is it 3-0? I'm trying to remember what it is, but yeah, it might be.
From what I remember, is usually if it's a 3, if you're up by 1 to 3 runs, it's a safe situation. But I think it's 4 too. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the announcers will say if it's a safe situation or not. Complete pass.
It might be because it's 4-0. Not bad. We got 2nd and goal here in this game. Man, I kind of want to change this game back, or this pick back to the Seahawks. I mean, you make good points. I don't know. It's very. This one, I'm going to maybe go back to the Seahawks right now because I kind of agree with what you're saying. I've been very back and forth all week on this one, and I may change that day of kind of thing just based on, if injury reports or whatever, because these two teams are really evenly matched. I think this might be one of the games of the week for sure. We got the 4:25 Sunday game. We got the Lions and the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati, I think, has regressed a lot, obviously, with the quarterback situation. The Lions have only every week gotten better. For me, this is a big win for the Lions in Cincinnati. But, I mean, obviously, road wins are always difficult. Champ, how do you see this game?
Jake Browning is not him. And he won't be him against this Detroit Lions defense. Detroit's going to win this one, and Cincinnati's going to continue this free fall. It's not looking good for him at all.
What the hell just happened? Stafford scores the touchdown, which ties it, but then the extra point is was it blocked?
It was blocked.
Oh my God! Which leaves it tied at 2020.
Are you serious?
This game is wild. Anyway, I'm happy we're covering this game and this potentially legendary baseball game. Even though I'm sorry for the Red Sox fans that are tuning in. But the Yankees are putting together one of the greatest pitching performances that you see. It looks like they're not going to him, though. He's sitting down, right? So,
Yeah, they're going with David Bednar.
yeah. Um, which is the right call.
Interesting call there. Curveball just on the corner, and they called it a strike. Okay, got it.
Can't wait for them to get robot umpire. I know that it's only going to be able to like review them to start, but I'm hoping that this is like the first step.
That was about the same spot, and he called it a ball. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, ABS is gonna definitely be something that's gonna be used quite a bit. When it comes out next year.
Yeah, and then do you think that it eventually then just goes to that where it's making all the choices, or do you think it's always going to be only as reviewable?
I think it should be. I honestly think it should only be reviewable. Honestly, because here's the thing. Umpires, they're humans, so they're gonna make mistakes. Gonna have a lot of missed calls, but I think that it should. It should. They should have the option to be able to, especially in a game that's very close. But I think that a lot of fans may not like it if it comes down to a robot making a call in a close game, honestly. But we'll have to see. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the future plays. The Chargers beating the Commanders. Right now, currently 85% of ESPN Pick'em is picking the Chargers in this one. The Commanders look like they're in a tough one. Yeah, and it's interesting. Bots one says it could be too robotic. Yeah, no, I see why people want the human element. I get it, but it's frustrating with these calls sometimes. But this Chargers Commanders game, champ. Well, how do you see this?
I say you get JD5 back. He's definitely the glue when it comes to this offense. I think this offense moves a lot better with him. With him out there than anything, even though Mario was able to show he can make the offense move when he did start. But I think that this offense is a lot better with JD5 in there, and I think they're going to be a lot better with JD5 in there. I picked them to win, even though 85% of pick'ems on ESPN is going with the Chargers because they are at home and the Commanders did have that struggle against Atlanta, but I think that they do bounce back against this Chargers team, honestly.
Yeah, they get to force out a second here, so they don't get to turn the double play in this baseball game. They did just show that pitcher had legendary stats, never before in postseason baseball, 12 strikeouts, no bases, no walks. And then and scoreless. So what incredible stuff by him. I really hope right now though that Boston is able to get a home run and make it 4-2 and make that really make that a really bad choice, and then makes this an exciting ending here. So that's what I'm rooting for in this game. We're at the top of the ninth. Ooh, it's just foul there. All right, we also got 2nd and 8 for the 49ers there, but they don't get much going. It's going to be a third down we're just under 10 minutes in the fourth left in the fourth quarter here. All right, I got the Patriots and the Bills. This seems like a really easy one. The Bills just have been dominating lately. And the Patriots, even though they did get a win last week, and they are 2-2, I just don't see them going into Buffalo and getting a win there.
No, even though this offense is looking a little bit different. Drake May is in his second year, and he's a little bit better than he was last season. But Buffalo is just on another level, and it's really tough to play in Orchard Park. I think that Buffalo wins this one as Bednar just got a huge strikeout with a beautiful curveball to make it one more out before they move on to Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, this is getting exciting. Come on. I want somebody to get just a home run right now. Let's do this. I just want that to have been a bad decision. Just pull it. I just think it'd be really funny.
You're not gonna like how this. You're not gonna like what's about to happen next, Robbie. So I'm just gonna say that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, 49ers also got nothing there on third down and had to kick it. And so once again, the Rams have the ball, 9:11 left in this fourth quarter. And we'll see how this turns out. Oh, I saw the out. So the
How about in the
Yankees,
foul territory? McMahon make the catch. The Yankees are now going to be facing the Blue Jays starting Saturday.
yeah. Hold on. I do. Hold. I want to text somebody to see if they would come on the show. I know a diehard Yankees fan who's also a Twitch musician. So it'd be kind of funny to have two, a Yankees and a Toronto fan.
What a pitching performance by Schlittler, man. I mean, holy crap. He actually now sits alone for the most strikeouts by a Yankees pitcher making their postseason debut. And there's some really legendary names on that list that he now stands over top of with this performance. Only four hits allowed, 12 strikeouts, and 8 innings pitched. Wow, what a performance in a must-win game for this team.
Yeah, I'm messaging and I just want to see if I can get him to come on. Anyway, we're going to get KR on in just a second. Let's talk about this Kansas City Chief Jacksonville Jaguars game. That'll be the Monday Night Football game that we'll be watching live. I think Kansas City is going to beat Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's been really good this season, and they are at home. What are your thoughts on this one?
Like I said, Kansas City was able to turn it on against Baltimore, but can they keep it on against the Jacksonville Jaguars team that is definitely different from what they were last season? The fact that they're 3-1 so far this season says a lot about how much this team has changed. Travis Etienne is starting to really look like a really strong running back. T-Law is definitely making some good decisions. Haven't seen much impact from Travis Hunter yet on either side of the ball, but this is going to be an interesting one. I picked Kansas City. It's just one of those situations you can't. I don't like betting against Kansas City, but I think that it's one of those situations where I think that it's going to be a tough game for them, but I think they pull out the W on Monday night on the road.
Yeah, it looks like Scott may need to have to go to bed. I'm trying to dog him into coming. I was like, how are you going to go to bed after that anyway? But okay.
And you mentioned it earlier, Robbie, and they showed it on the screen here, their interview with Schlittler, that he's the first pitcher in Major League history in postseason to go 8 innings and not give up a run while having 12 plus Ks and no walks. That is efficiency and pitching prowess that you don't find quite often nowadays, especially with the way baseball has changed and the way that baseball is more geared towards offense and home runs and things like that. For this kid to go out there and only give up 5 hits and not give up a run and not walk anybody, I think that's huge.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking to. I really wanted to get Scott Firestone Rocks Drums on there after that. He's like one of the bigger Yankee fans I know, and so, but I understand. He's too tired. He's got a school tomorrow, but what a crazy game. I just sent a message to my dad to ask him if he watched it because I know that he is a big Yankees fan. He's actually in New York right now, which is crazy. All right. Ooh, almost picked off there. by the 49ers, but that's fourth down. So I think that they're going to have to punt it. So the defense is starting to come alive here in the fourth quarter with both of them getting to stop, and they're going to have to punt it back to the 49ers now in this really close game for sure.
Yeah, the Bronx is about to be on fire tonight, man. What a victory for the Yankees. And the crazy thing is that guess who was on color commentary for this Yankees-Red Sox game? Legendary Yankees pitcher, David fucking Cone. I love David Cone. Coney's awesome. And I wasn't a big Yankees fan, but I always respected the game that David Cone, like the way that David Cone pitched. He was one of the most consistent arms that the Yankees had when he was on that team. I remember watching his perfect game, which it came after he just had came back from having an aneurysm in his right shoulder. And he came back, and I think a couple starts after he came back, he pitched that perfect game, which was one of the most awesome perfect games I've ever seen.
Yeah, my dad denied to come on. He's like, I'm going to sleep too. That's fair. All right. It is late on a Thursday night, but it's like all the Yankees fans are just like relieved and going to bed. It's funny. I was like, for me, if it was my team that just won like that, I would never be able to. I would just like have to like shout from the rooftop that they made it to the next round on a like crazy pitching performance, you know? But that's the difference between me and my dad. We will be having KR in a minute to join us. He's unfortunately his computer is restarting and updating. But so hopefully we'll get him in a few minutes to join us. You gotta love technology. Like it decides to restart at like the worst times. I'm like always like, no, I do not want to restart my podcast. Yeah, my laptop in the middle of me doing the stream. You know, like it's just technology, man. Like I have to say, like Microsoft is doing a shitty job with this upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. Like, they're just scaring the shit out of old folks, champ. And like people are panicking. And they're like, "Oh, I haven't even heard about this, and now there's a Windows 10 update, and like they're saying that we won't support it anymore." And I'm like, that doesn't mean your computer's gonna die tomorrow, you know? Like they're not pulling the plug on all those computers, but like I don't know. It kind of sucks for these people that just don't understand, and it's like their wording is like we're no longer supporting it. Well, what does that mean, you know? So
Well, Robbie, since you're in the mood to rant,
yeah.
It's time to segue while we wait for KR to get on here.
Yeah.
So YouTube TV did some stupid grimy shit this week that pissed you off.
Yeah.
And I love a good rant. That's just how I love a good rant. And you said you wanted to rant about that. So go ahead and get your shit off about what YouTube TV did this week.
Yeah.
How about that shit?
Yeah, it's pretty bullshit. I'm gonna switch to our main screen over here. And it's just really frustrating as a Caps fan. I'm actually going to put out our Caps logo for this because it's really more about that than anything. But so, I'm a diehard Caps fan. I switched to YouTube TV to not pay the crazy cable bill. So I was able to still get to watch Monumental Sports. I already had conceded that I wasn't getting MASN, which kind of sucks. You don't get the two local baseball teams, but as long as I get my hockey, my basketball, and ESPN and the football and some live channels, fine. But I don't know who we're blaming. There's been reports both ways here, but Monumental is blaming YouTube TV, and they're blaming Hulu for not negotiating. But my gut feeling says if the prices were the same as they were last year, they probably would have kept the deal. So there's some blame clearly on Monumental Sport. And I don't know the behind-the-scenes working, but I'll just say if you were a company that wanted more people to subscribe to your streaming network, you would up the prices to force people, into the networks be like, oh no, I can't cover that anymore. And that means that all these people have to move over to your service, right? So like it's a windfall for them, right? Like all these people are gonna either cancel YouTube TV, potentially. Like I would almost want to cancel YouTube TV because that was a big reason why I was going to join it in the first place. But I don't even know who to direct my rant at. It's like these two giant companies that can't come to an agreement, and the people that get hosed in this situation are the fans. There's so many fans that won't be able to watch week one of hockey unless they buy Monumental Sports, and it's $20 a month. Now I hope that they're able to get the Nationals included because then maybe $20 a month or $200 a year would be worth it if they could have like the Mystics, the Nationals, the Capitals as well, and the Wizards. But I don't know. It's hard to stomach $20 a month, to give to a company who potentially may have had a hand in this, but. I'm just mad at YouTube TV. That's this giant company, Google, infinite money, right? Like they can't play a small, increase, and it seems like part of the onus is on YouTube TV because other NBC sports channels and other NBC channels in general, including Univision and the Golf Channel, may be off of it soon. And so it's clearly not just a Monumental Sports issue. And there's talk of some of the other networks potentially coming off of YouTube TV as well. And so I do want to read a statement from Monumental Sports, because I think that that's kind of important in this conversation, that they're disappointed in for our fans that YouTube TV and Hulu plus Live TV have chosen to drop their network and leave the area without access. We offered and will continue to offer both YouTube TV and Hulu numerous fair deals filled with economic concessions to keep programming accessible, but neither platform meaningful engaged with the proposals and never received a written counter proposal from either. So they're claiming that, and it'd be hard for me to believe that they would have such a high rate that they wouldn't at least counter, right? Like why not throw a counter in the dark saying no, we're going less than we paid last year? They didn't even, if they're not even countering with that, it's not good faith on YouTube TV and Hulu. And so they're pretty upset, and they're actually think that they're claiming that they're charging us local people too much money for not enough service now, and that they are liable for that. And so it's an interesting pivoting point from their point of view. And I don't know. I'm just really upset because now that leaves me and many other fans without it. And I don't know if we should boycott it because of this move or what, but I love my hockey. And what really sucks is I have ESPN Plus. It's supposed to have all the games, but you're blacked out of the local market if you don't have Monumental Sports, champ.
Yeah, so, and that's going to be the big thing is that, like these companies, other companies are probably seeing this playing out, but because of blackout rules and laws and things like that, there's not much that they can do in this situation to circumvent that because they have rules and laws that they have to abide by and things like that. Like on YouTube, I have Sunday Ticket. And I even tried to use a VPN to try to watch the Commanders Falcons game because I was on the move Sunday because I was going to visit my mom post her surgery. And I didn't want to listen to the game. I wanted to watch it. And so I tried to use a VPN to try to watch it. And I couldn't even do that on my phone and whatnot. So that's, that may or may not be an option for most people to get a VPN and pay money for a VPN to be able to watch their local sports teams and whatnot it's not readily available for people who've cut the cord. Like me, I haven't cut the cord. I still have Xfinity cable as well as internet and things like that, which is useful for me because of the fact that 4 of the wrestling shows that we review on No Spots Podcast are on cable TV. NXT's on the CW, AEW Dynamite's on TBS. 5 of them, I'm sorry, because you have TNA Impact on Access TV, which Xfinity just got on there like last year or year before last. Okay, so you have TNA Impact, then you have SmackDown on USA Network, and you have AEW Collision on TNT. So 5 of the 6 shows that we review on a weekly basis are on cable. So I can't cut the cord really because it's much better for me to be able to watch those shows and be able to DVR them and things like that. Yes, Raw's on Netflix, so and that can be watched on demand and whatnot, and you can skip the commercials and all that other stuff. But I think that in this situation, this is not a very good look for either side, in my opinion. This is not a good look for either side because can Monumental really say they worked hard and really provided fair negotiation if YouTube TV said thanks but no thanks and decided to remove them? Can they say that? I mean, we don't know. We weren't sitting at the negotiation table. So we can't say what was provided, what was presented. Monumental's not going to say what was presented because, non-disclosure type of things. When it comes to fiduciary negotiations, things like that, you don't put that out there in the atmosphere until a deal is actually made. So we won't know what was actually brought to the table that led to this situation of Monumental being removed from YouTube TV as of yesterday.
Yeah.
But all we know is that apparently, Ted Leonsis' son, and I know it's his son because he looked pretty much like his damn daddy, came out and
I went to college with Zachary, actually, which is crazy. But yeah, so it is.
Of course you did.
Of that. Yeah. It's and I like the family. They're nice people, and like they've done good by the Capitals, not so great by the Wizards. But it's just frustrating because I want to like them and I want to like absolve them and say it's YouTube TV. But it's weird that why would Disney and Google both collude at the same time? Which is kind of crazy. 59-yard field goal is good.
It's good.
Takes a 3-point lead with 2:52 left. Can LA force overtime here? But Bot1 is also agreeing that there should be some sort of standards for this, and it's just really frustrating, and it just leaves a lot of us customers really upset and mad at the team, and it sucks because if it is Ted's fault, like it makes me not want to pay to go to the games, and I love the Capitals, and this is in Ovechkin's potential maybe last year, and like this is going on, and we're potentially thousands of fans might be without being able to watch them. And so it's just really disappointing. And now like part of me considers going back to cable, and that sucks because it was like twice as expensive as YouTube TV. But like at least it has it, and then I already got a phone line and my internet through them. So like why not with Fios you get all of it? But it's just frustrating because it's like $200 for cable, and like YouTube TV was like I think $85, which is a lot more reasonable. And even if it had to go up to $90 to try to cover the difference with Monumental, I would pay that. But there's no option for upper tier for specific channels. So that's what if I was YouTube TV, like I'd allow for people to pay $5 a la carte for specific premium channels. And then that would make more money potentially for you to cover the difference, right? Like if I would pay $5 for Masson, $5 for Monumental, if it was included, and not have to pay $20 separately for it. So I think there's money on the table from YouTube and from Hulu where they're not doing this a la carte options, which they really have the opportunity to do so. And so both sides really to blame, and it's very frustrating. So there's only certain teams for the whole league. Well, it's local broadcast, so it just depends on whether YouTube TV values those local channels. A lot of them were once considered NBC Sports networks, and then they Ted Leonsis decided to bring his in-house, and so this is the potential danger of doing that, but clearly they have been working the last year or two with them and it had worked up until this point. So it's not the whole league. And I do wonder if on my Fire Stick I put a VPN if I could still get it through ESPN Plus, because it's not checking your location, unlike your phone. But it's just like really frustrating. You got to jump through hoops, and you know, especially if you're
I
paying.
mean, Sif does that. Like he watches like SmackDown and Raw on Netflix through a VPN on his Fire Stick, so that way he doesn't get the commercials like you would get watching it here in the United States. So
Hmm,
I don't that could be a viable option. Who
yeah,
knows?
I may end up doing that, but it just sucks to like make your customers go through these hoops, because I already pay for ESPN Plus, so I should be able to get those games. You're asking me to double dip, pay for ESPN Plus for the all the hockey coverage and Monumental Sports and YouTube TV, like that's crazy. Like I don't know. I don't know what they expect. I mean, like, I want to be mad, but I'm almost just so defeated by it all, right? It's been like this slow growth of needing a million different providers now, which ends up being like worse than cable ever was. Because, you know. All right, so here we go. First and 10, we got the Rams. Big time conversion there, getting the first down. There's about 2:20 left. He's inbound. See if they can get another playoff here before the 2-minute warning. They still have all three of their timeouts and only need a field goal. Yeah, Bato said this business model just promotes piracy, 100%. Or if not piracy, sharing logins, right? Like we all know somebody who's got cable, right? So they could share that with them, and that's kind of the only other option is that friends and family are going to start to do things like that, right? Either do that or piracy, but either way, it hurts the consumer because we have to go through what feels like dubious means, right? When we're trying to pay for things. Like it's not like we're out here trying to do this. They're leaving us very little option. $20 a month is expensive for Monumental, especially if the Wizards are going to be terrible. Like you're basically asking me to pay that just for hockey. Like that's a lot a month. So I don't know. Like I also kind of think that a lot of these things get resolved over time. So why wouldn't I just wait and see, right? And see if they can get their shit together. And then pirate or steal a code or find another way around it. Yeah, we're getting nickel and dimed. It's ridiculous, and like who can afford that in today's society?
By
And
the way, I just pivot just a little bit. I'm watching Sports Center with SVP, and they just showed a graphic that the Detroit Tigers went 7-17 in September. Yet they're getting ready to play in the ALDS against the Mariners starting on Saturday. That is the worst record of worst September record for a team reaching the reaching the league division series. So that's crazy to think that the Tigers struggled so badly in September, yet they're still in the playoffs.
yeah.
Still there.
All right. So all right, I think we've talked about football. We've talked about this stuff. I'm gonna try to get KR's having trouble. His internet is down, so that's why he hasn't been able to get on. But we're gonna try to see if he can do it from his phone. And so while he tries to do that, I just sent him the information on how to join us by the phone. Champ, while that's happening, let us know about what's happening on the No Spots podcast this week.
Yeah. So again, we're going to be doing a recap of the week in wrestling. Of course, NXT is preparing for its big show. It's going to be Showdown. There's a show where it's going to be NXT versus TNA. You're going to see a winner take all tag team title matchup. The TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, who were basically bred in WWE, but have made their name for themselves outside of WWE. They're going to be defending their tag titles against the NXT Tag Team Champions, Dark State, and again, it's winner take all. But I'm as Seth mentioned before he left, we're expecting some kind of wonky finish. I'm expecting a no contest because I don't see the Hardys or Dark State holding on to those to either, to both tag team titles. And then the Hardys have a tag team title match at Bound for Glory coming up in about a week or two against the Dudley Boys, Team 3D, in a tables match coming up. So that's going to be a fun one. So, and I just don't see the Hardys losing their tag titles when they have that match coming up. You're also going to see Mustafa Ali, who told a great story in his promo on Tuesday about how he earned an opportunity at the NXT North American Championship, but before he can even cash in on that opportunity, he received a phone call basically being told that, they wish him the best in his future endeavors. And in other words, he was released right before he can have his opportunity for the North American title. So he never got his opportunity. Now he's going to get that opportunity against Ethan Page on Tuesday. And you're going to see two Survivor Series style 8-man and 8-woman tag team matches. It's going to be NXT versus TNA in those matches. It's going to be elimination style, meaning that each pinfall, submission, disqualification, or count out, that person is eliminated, and whoever has their team left in the match when it's all said and done is the winner. NXT is going to be represented by a new NXT champion, Ricky Saints, TNA world champion, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Miles Bourne. They will be going up against the TNA team represented by Mike Santana, who's the number 1 contender for the TNA World title at Bound for Glory. Moose, apparently the new the new TNA International champion, Frankie Kazarian, and the X Division champion, Leon Slater. That's on the men's side. On the women's side, NXT is going to be represented by JC Jane, who's the NXT Women's Champion, Lola Vice. I forget the other two that are on the team. I got to look that up. But I'll know that by the time we get to recording. But that's on the NXT side. It's Jada Parker and I forget who's the fourth one, but those are the four. Those four are going to go up against TNA, represented by the TNA Knockouts World Champion, who is an NXT star, and Kaylani Jordan. She won that championship at Victory Road when it was vacated after Ash by Elegance had to vacate it due to some kind of medical issue that has forced her to step away from wrestling. No one has even come back to say what that issue is, whether it's an injury, whether she's pregnant, who knows. But she had to relinquish the championship a few weeks after winning it. And Kaylani Jordan won it at Victory Road. She's the captain for Team TNA. She's going to be joined by the Inspiration, who are apparently going to win the TNA World Tag Team Championships on the knockout side, though they didn't have the championships with them on this show, and also by Mara Sade, who was a former member of the NXT roster as Jakara Jackson. So those are those matches. And I think there's one other match that's going to be on this show coming up. But there's a lot of that going on right now with wrestling. Wrestling's really
Champ, I got to stop you for just 1 second.
Yeah, I saw it.
This is the craziest punch out, and I mean,
painful.
They wanted the win, and they wanted the touchdown, and they didn't want to settle for the field goal. And right on the goal line, it gets punched out, and heartbreak for Rams fans. But watch out here; they're on the 1 yard line. There could be a safety here. They just got to get out of there. All right, so they move it 1 yard. They're going to use one of their timeouts. They still have all 3 of their timeouts. This is not over, Champ. Nope. They're going to have to kick it potentially out of their end zone for a potential return here. So some exciting stuff going on at the end of this football game. But, man, that's heartbreaking. They were, like, trying to punch it in there at that 1 yard line. It's punched out, and yeah. What are your thoughts on that play?
Yeah, I mean, go big or go home, man. You got to try to win this one. You're going up against a division rival at home, and you want to win. You want to win. You want to win football. You want to win the football game. You don't want to go with a tie. You don't want to risk overtime. And then, every team gets a possession in overtime, but you don't want to run the risk of them getting a possession, scoring, and then you don't get the possession and you lose. So, I understand Sean McVay's thinking on that one. It just didn't turn out the way that he wanted, but there's still a chance. There's still a chance. They still have a chance here. And when you have someone like Matthew Stafford back there, quarterback, you still have a puncher's chance in this one.
Yeah. I wanted to thank our friend that had to jump, Bots one. But yeah, thank you so much. He was actually saying that his dad was kind of relevant in the sports world. He was on the Contender, was on the Air Force Academy boxing coach for 36 years. That's crazy. And he also was saying that his dad was invited to Matt Stafford's wedding. So he was like a diehard Lions fan. That's kind of crazy too. We've got 3rd and 8 here, and he says he's going to come back. So yeah, but yeah, we normally do it on Mondays at 9. We just couldn't this week, so we recap the weekend and we preview the week usually. Hockey will be starting at 9 in a couple of weeks when we have the live Bears game. But next week we'll have football to start it, and then at 10:30 we'll preview the hockey season with some of our hockey panelists next week on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that show. And there's a Pokemon in chat. I'm going to try to catch it real fast. Yeah, this is a crazy thing. 4th and 8, 53 seconds left, no timeouts. Dang, I missed the Pokemon.
But field position should be in the favor of the Rams because 49ers are punting from their own end zone. So this should set up good for them to be able to get it down the field. 53 seconds is plenty of time to make some plays, get a couple of throws to the sidelines. 49ers are going to have to guard the sidelines to keep it in the field of play and force them to, rush up, spike the ball to give themselves another chance, something like that.
Oh, good kick, though. Got to pass the 50.
Or you can do this!
Oh, wow. Big run back. Oh, but there's a flag. I think there's a hold. All right. Huge Habs fan. Can't wait for hockey coverage. That's awesome. I love for an Avalanche fan to be here. Yeah, we usually talk about the Caps, but we talk about the NHL as a whole. So sounds good, Bots One. Looking forward to having you. Thank you again for the follow and joining us tonight. I'm sorry about your team, but it was a fun night, and we'll definitely talk to you soon. Yeah, so
that flag might be on San Francisco because the guy went out of bounds and then came back in.
Yeah, to block.
He wasn't forced out of bounds, so that could be the flag.
Yeah, but was he forced? Ooh, Matthew Stafford has 50 career game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime, 6th most in NFL history. Yeah, what a crazy fucking ending to this. What a great baseball game tonight. And so they're starting the 50-yard line, so it was a flag on them. But they only got to get about 10, 15 yards. Oh, don't get sacked. Oh, big throw down the field. And well broken up, but almost a catch there. Big time play. 36 seconds left, but they're trying to go for it all to get down the field here. Yeah, some exciting stuff. We got the Cubs earlier today. They were up 3-1, and they hit a batter, and so those at the top of the ninth, and so they had 2 on, but they were able to. There was a chopper out there, but they were able to get the out. And so I'm watching the replays here. This is an exciting end to this Chicago game that I missed earlier.
Yeah, I missed it too. I was actually watching it, but then I fell asleep, and I'm mad that I fell asleep. It looked like it was a really crazy game, but the Cubs were able to get their first win in a winner-take-all game in their franchise history, and now they move on. I think they got the Phillies next, which is not going to be an easy game for them, but it should be an interesting game for them. So these matchups in the LDS coming up are going to be really, really good matchups. Honestly, this is what playoff baseball is all about, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. We got 4th and 3 here. They got to convert because they did not get close enough for this field goal attempt. There's 25 seconds left in this game. What a fun and exciting.
They got to get this ball past the sticks and out of bounds, because if they don't, I don't think they're going to have time to be able to get up. Never mind. Up. They got to tick. They got to run. Tick. Tick. 12 seconds.
Oh, 12 seconds. That's a chance. All right. What do you think? They took a chance the last time. Do you go take one shot at the end zone real fast and then kick the field goal? What do you do?
With 12 seconds, maybe. Yeah, I would take a shot.
Or do you do like an out route, get it a little bit closer, make it a chip shot?
Yeah. I mean, you have so many options. You don't have a lot of options here because it's only 12 seconds. If you get tackled in the field to play too far down the field, it could be over. And so they got to be very, very mindful of that situation.
All right. Well, here we go. 2nd and 10 after the spike. We got a timeout here by San Francisco. They used their last timeout of the game. Now neither team has timeouts with 12 seconds left. Can't get much closer than this game.
Oh man, this game is getting down to the wire here. If they do go for it here, it could be game over.
I'm so happy I have 3 TVs in the man cave. I just have this one over here. So I've been watching baseball all day, but now this is heating up on the upper TV. So
yeah, like I said, I was watching some of the Cubs Padres game, but then I ended up falling asleep out of nowhere, so I missed that one. And I didn't watch the Tigers Guardians game 3 either, but that looked like a really good game as well. And but Yankees Red Sox definitely was the game of the day. With the electric performance on the mound by the rookie pitcher, man. I mean, holy crap! What a performance there to get a shutout in a winner take all game.
Yeah. All right, here we go. 12 seconds. He's back to throw.
Oh, it's off his fingertips. Come on, Devontae Daddy. The rule is if it hits your hands, you got to catch it.
God, that would have been a touchdown. Oh, man. All right, well, we got... Woo! They're going to try for a field goal here. He missed one earlier from 53.
And how long is this one? 48. Yeah, he missed wide right. He had the distance, but he missed wide right on his only attempt earlier on. Let's see if he can...
All right, it's down. The hold is good. It is up, and it is good. All right, 2 seconds.
Bonus football on the Thursday night, baby.
There we go. All right, let's talk a little bit about the MLB the playoffs, and then KR's having a lot of trouble, so I don't know if he's gonna be able to join us. So we're gonna talk about all the other matchups first, with the thought that maybe he can join us in a little bit, and then and if not, we can talk about that last matchup with Toronto. And so we are here, and let me I should have I haven't put a baseball postseason graphic up in a while, but I thought I had one. Let me see. Well, while I look for that, I will let you. What's this one? Talk about some of these series. We've got the upcoming games here. I was going to pull this up over here with the division series coming up. We got the Cubs and the Brewers on Saturday. That's going to be the first game. That's a 2:00 game. What are your thoughts about this series?
I said the Cubs definitely had a tough go at it in a 3-game series against the Padres. It went to a game 3, so they're definitely they definitely had to grind it out against the Padres. Though the Padres scored the fewest runs of any team playing in a wild card or in a playoff series of 5 runs. So if you're not scoring runs, you're not gonna win a lot of games. The Brewers were one of the best teams in Major League Baseball throughout the season. And so I think this is going to be a really tough one for Chicago. If Chicago can take at least one game from Milwaukee in Milwaukee, they may have a chance, but I think Milwaukee in a best of 5, I think they take it in 3. I think they take it 3-1 here. I think the Cubs can get one either in Milwaukee or in Chicago, but I think the Brewers will take this series with hardly a lot of fight. But it'll be a pretty tough one. But they've been playing so well all season. I think that they take it. This will not go 5 games.
Yeah. All right, since this game is going to overtime, I'm going to put it on the big screen and switch it over. And we'll see which is faster, Prime or now they're both going to get a view. But I feel like they deserve it for this. Yeah, so I feel bad for my uncle. He's a diehard Cubs fan, and he went to the one Cubs game that they lost, and he lives in North Carolina, so he traveled all the way up for that. So that's too bad. But I'm happy they were able to win the 2 games he didn't go to and move on, because that's the more important thing. All right, we're going to skip the Yankees Blue Jays for now. That would be the 4:08 game, and then talk about the Dodgers and Phillies game in the 6:38 game on Saturday. This is an interesting matchup of 2 teams that have been, I don't know, it's kind of, I don't want to say the rivals, but there'll be an interesting matchup for sure.
I mean, the Phillies, of course, have Bryce, they have Schwarber, they have Turner, they have great offensive productivity from those 3 players, and everybody on that team can really score. Trust me, we saw enough of the Phillies on the Nats side of things this season to know what this team is capable of, both offensively as well as defensively, as well as their pitching staff. But the Dodgers, I mean, their pitching staff is just going to be is going to be one to watch, especially with Clayton Kershaw. This is definitely going to be his last postseason. He retires at the end of this season. He's going to be involved either in this series, or if the Dodgers do move on to the NLCS, he'll be starting in that series as well. But I'm pretty sure he's going to start in this series. You also have Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto, who was absolutely electric in that game where they won over the Reds to move on to the NLDS. His curveball was absolutely just electric. Lows like high 70s, the low 80s, just dipping out of the zone. Devastating splitter and a really good fastball. A lot of their pitches really good. And then, of course, on the offensive side, you have Mookie and you have Shohei and you have Freddie Freeman. This is going to be a fun series to keep an eye on. If the Dodgers pitching is anything of what we saw against the Reds, I think that the Phillies could have some difficulties generating runs and really getting going in this series. Dodgers could take this one. I feel like this is one of those series that could go the full 5 games because of how good both of these teams are. I think this could go the full 5 games, and I think the Dodgers take it in a decisive game 5. In my opinion, but I think that this is definitely one that goes 5 games.
Yeah. All right, Tigers and Seattle, being sort of one of the surprise teams this year. That Tigers team was sort of in that dogfight in their division, right? Towards the end of the season, all season long in that Central versus a really tough team from the West. What are your thoughts on this one?
As they showed in the graphic on SportsCenter, Tigers only won 7 games in September and barely made it into the playoffs. And then they had to they went a full 3 games against the Cleveland Guardians just to make it to this point. Seattle was one of the best teams in the American League. Cal Raleigh basically set a new bar for catchers in major leagues when it comes to power hitting and being a switch hitting catcher. He is definitely going to be someone that the Tigers are going to have to contend with. along with other members of that team, like Julio Rodriguez and everything like that. I don't see the Tigers coming out of this series. If anything, I don't see a sweep. I think they take one, maybe in Detroit at Comerica. But other than that, I think Mariners take this one 3-1.
Yeah. We've got a Pokemon live in chat if people want to catch that. It's a Bellsprout. I'm super excited about this new Pokemon game. It's actually a really good little mini segue for an ad. On October the 16th, I'm going to do a special stream when the new Pokemon game comes out. I was going to do it all day stream because I had the day off, but my son begged me not to do it and wanted me to do it after school and stream with him. And
you got to have nephew in there with you. Come on now.
So I will wait all day and not play the brand new game and play and wait for him until he gets out of school, and we'll do that on probably from like 6 to 7 for like an hour, and then I may come on and do another segment at some other point as well. But he wanted to see the very beginning of it. I may do a trial stream earlier on in the day in the morning where I just play around with the game a little bit for an hour, but don't go through the story, just to test out all the settings to make sure that it works for him. So there might be multiple streams that day, but just to celebrate the new Pokemon release. So if people don't know, there's Legends ZA is the game, and we're very excited about it. I'm going to get a copy for him on his Switch and one on mine as well. And the reason I mentioned it was Bellsprout Final Evolution got a Mega Form, and if you're a Pokemon fan, you know what that means in this game that it never had in any of the previous games, and it looks ridiculous, and I definitely want to get it. And so shout out to the Bellsprout line, which is one of the original 151, so it's kind of cool for it to get a...
I remember Bellsprout.
Yeah, so we got a big down for the 49ers here.
Man, 49ers are really, as Lynn Dawson's coaches say, matriculate down the field, boys, and that's what they're doing. They're just slowly, methodically making their way down the field on this one. The Rams are going to get a possession in this overtime, because I think this is the 49ers possession. So the Rams are going to get a possession. It's just going to determine where they go with it. If 49ers are able to score a touchdown here, or if they're if they're stopped to a field goal, it'll determine what the Rams are going to do on their offensive possession in this overtime.
Yeah, so it looks like KR is having a lot of tech issues, and even the cell phone isn't working. So we're fine. We're just going to go through that last series, the Yankees and Blue Jays, and hopefully maybe next time, maybe at 11 o'clock on Monday, we can get him back on to recap the first two games. So I'll try to do a rain check that way. I appreciate all that he was trying to do to get on. Man, it was fate was not going our way, but... let's talk about this Yankees team that we just
sack!
Ooh. Yeah, it's a big-time sack. And forces a third down here in overtime. So we just saw the Yankees have a dominating pitching performance. They'll have to play a game one Saturday, so it's a pretty quick turnaround in Toronto at 4:08, and then they'll play also on Sunday at 4:08. So next week we'll kind of know how they are after those first two games. And I think it's 2-3-2, or no, it's best of 5, right? So
it's best of 5.
So it's 2-2-1. So it'll go back on Tuesday for the game, and then Wednesday as well. And I'll talk to them. It's possible, since it's an off day for both of teams. It'd be interesting if I could get Scott and KR to maybe do like a reverse and do like the first segment to start our show. That'd be kind of an interesting duel if they want to do that. So I'll talk to them, because I know that Scott can only do it at the beginning of the show. But
Mac Jones is hurting. Like, he is taking a beating in this game.
Wow. But they're going for a 41-yard field goal attempt here, and it is up, and it is donked
Good.
in.
It's good.
It donked, right? It go off the.
It looked like it donked, but I think it barely missed across the upright
I thought I saw
on
it
the left
move
side.
at the end. I want to see the replay here.
I think it took a slight turn to the right and missed the upright and got in. So either way, Rams now have a chance to either tie back up or win it. Oh, no, it doinked in.
It definitely doinked in.
It doinked in. Jesus Christ.
It's not the first doinking we've talked about on this podcast. I'm not wearing this shirt today, neither you, but it's funny. And I like your new JD5 jersey. That's awesome. I'm wearing the classic.
This jersey literally just came in today.
That's awesome. Hopefully, it'll bring us good luck on Sunday. Oh shit! Is he throwing up? What is going on? Jesus, he looks like he's in so much pain.
He's not in good shape right now. He's not in good shape. Like, he's taking a beating in this game.
We got the return going here. Oh, gets through, gets to 35. I love this new return rule, by the way. I do too.
I do too. Like, a lot of people weren't big fans of it, but I'm a fan. I like it.
I think people are only not big fans of it before they saw that now it's interesting, and most possessions start in the 30-plus range. Which I think is just better for the game. Like, people want offense, right? And then people also want an opportunity for a return. And it gives them both in a safer way, because I feel like the collisions, they're not running the whole length of the field down, that they're both only get to start once, it's caught. And so it doesn't create these really awkward collisions that you saw before. On the first down, a nice pass and out route makes it second and short here of 5:40 left in overtime. We'll see how
McVay is 9-1 on these Thursday night games, man. He's trying to keep that record intact. He's trying to get it to 10-1. Yeah, and I think, like I said, when you have Matt Stafford back there, I think you can do it.
Yeah, and all the time in the world now with like 5:20 left in the game.
Oh, going for it!
Oh, what a throw!
Tutu Atwell, who called game last week.
What a great catch. Great route running. Starts on the left side, comes all the way across the field, and just gets right to the end and right out of bounds. A great throw to where only he could catch it, or it's out of bounds in my mind. And wow, it sets them up in a great position here with about 5 minutes left. They're already in field goal range, but we know how that all turned out.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Matt Stafford going for the end zone.
No, tried Atwell again.
Just missed him. Just too far in front of him. Good idea, though. I think the play was there. Just slightly. I think they just got a little bit too juiced up. Like they just.
Well, I mean, also Atwell was double teamed as well. It was a safety over top and a DB on him. So he tried to put it. He tried to put it in a spot. He just couldn't get to that spot.
Yeah, it was a good route running. It was a good spot. They just didn't connect, just a little bit far for him. But again, smart play. Don't chance the interception here. And he's looking left, then looking right. Catches it. The clock keeps moving.
Kyron Williams on the check down.
Yep, let's get him a little bit closer. Got 3rd and 6 here. Got decision making. Got to be smart with it. Don't want to fumble it again. This close to the goal line with an opportunity here. So
this is going to be an interesting play call here because they either go for the first down or they try to get closer for a game time field goal. They're close enough for a makeable field goal here.
Yeah, I definitely smart decision here to pass it. Gets it a little bit closer, but he's not close enough. It's gonna be 4th down. They're gonna. Whoa, decision time. Do you go for it? You kick the field goal to tie, and then you rely on your defense with 2 timeouts here. Ooh, it's a tough decision. They're going.
They're keeping the offense on the field. They want the win. I told you, they want the win.
Oh, here we go. Gut check time.
What happened? I think we got a timeout.
I think there's a timeout here by the 49ers.
Yeah, it was a timeout for the 49ers. Their
Just
first. They only get 2 timeouts in overtime, so that was their first.
Right. Oh my goodness. Tina's with us. Al Mal Music is with us. This game is crazy. So thank you for joining us. And thank you so much for the shout out. Also, welcome on in. This is a crazy, crazy ending to this game. 26-23. We're 4th and 1, 341. Al, we were talking about your Eagles earlier. And he's a big time Eagles fan, covers all the games live. Here we go, 4th and 1, games on the line, as they say. They need to get a first down or a touchdown to continue this game, or to end it, I guess. We'll see what they do. Are they going to call it?
No, they're not going. I think they were trying to draw them all sides to get a first down that way. They're not going. They're going to go for the field goal, I think.
They use one of their timeouts, though.
Yes,
I was going to say that you can save your timeouts to try to get some, an opportunity here. All right, it looks like they're going to try to kick one here to tie it. Oh
no, they use a timeout. I don't see the kicker out there.
Yeah, they don't. So this is a wild game.
This is gamesmanship. Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. Both of these guys were both on the Commander's staff, so this is gamesmanship right here, ladies and gentlemen. These two guys are trying to really outthink each other.
This is wild stuff. All right, got a 4th and 1, 341. Whoa, welcome on in, Al Mal Music. His rating, he was doing music. Oh, they're pushing for it. Did they get it? No,
it's over.
They stopped him. Wow.
All that gamesmanship, and they couldn't get that 1 yard they needed to extend the game.
Wow, what a play. Welcome on in, Raiders. What a crazy finish. I don't know if you guys were checking it out on your end, but man, 26-23, San Francisco holds on for the big-time victory. LA tries to go for it. They tried to go for it earlier and fumbled it instead of going to tie it in that situation. And then here we are with an opportunity to tie it. Oh, man, just some crazy heartbreaking action here. And really great defense there. Plugged up all the holes, and it was a goal line defense. Welcome on Life of M, and so I'm going to do a Who is Al Mal? For people who don't know, he's an independent hip-hop artist, and he does a safe session, and he also does freestyle rap session at the end. He also does gaming and things like that. We also has lovely significant other who is Life of Am, and she always raids into that as well. And why didn't that work? But yeah, I appreciate both of you guys. And I was watching and through Fantasy Store. Yeah. So we were going through all the different games, and then we've been watching this. We also talk a little bit of baseball as well. I don't know if you follow baseball or just football, Al, but yeah, it was. You got Williams, nice. Mac Jones, first quarterback since 1950 to win first 3 starts for the 49ers. So follows in some big footsteps. So Big Mac Jones, big time win, 26-23. Man, what a great night of sports, though. That Yankees pitching game was great. Yeah, I didn't play no Rams in fantasy, at least. Yeah, man, I had this wrong. We do pick them, and we both of us picked the Rams in this game just because of how the 49ers were looking coming into it. But man, 49ers now at the top of the division, champ.
Hey, I mean, Mac Jones. We all talked shit about Mac Jones when he was in New England. We thought he was not the best, and now he comes over here to San Francisco. Purdy's been down a couple times, and he's able to. Mac Jones able to come out there and really keep this team competitive. So well done.
Yeah. I'm confused. KR may still want to join, but wow, Tina French said, "Wow, mac and cheese showed up." Yeah, big time kick though in overtime that ends up being clutch for them. But I'm so excited. Thank you, the homie Tony, for joining in as well. I appreciate everyone for stopping through. We're just towards the end of the show. We were trying to get another music streamer actually on to talk about Toronto, but internet connection and stuff like that. If you want to catch the Pokemon, I know that a lot of you guys are Pokemon fans. Wow, he got 31 points from Williams. That's crazy.
I gotta check and see what CMC did on this. I know he scored a touchdown. I gotta see how many points I got from him. Because
Yeah.
I think I have him in 2 of my fantasy leagues and whatnot. So I gotta see how he did on this one.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys follow the MLB
Ooh, I got
Playoff.
20. I got almost 28 points from CMC. He had 22 carries for 57 yards, but he also had 8 catches off of 9 targets for 82 yards and a touchdown. And I'm in a PPR league, so you get a point for every reception, and then you get a point for every 10 yards, and 6 points for a touchdown. So he did very well on this one. So good job, CMC.
Nice, good job. All right, Mac Jones. I love that. Yeah, what a crazy way to start this NFL week. So I think we're going to end it pretty soon. We do have a show on Monday. I'm not sure when we'll talk baseball. I'm going to talk to a bunch of Yankees and Toronto fans to see if they can join and find out what time works best for them. So they'll be back on Monday. We'll talk about the baseball playoffs for sure at some point. We'll also talk football. Hopefully a victory Monday, champ. It's going to be tough. Well, Mal and I both caught the Mischievous. Nice. Ghost Gang, rise up. And yes, it was. It'll be an interesting game against the Chargers for sure. We'll see how that game goes. And then we'll preview the next week against the Bears, which we'll be live reacting to, which will always be interesting. And then we'll also preview the hockey season coming up in the next episode. So big episode. We'll preview some football. We'll recap some football. We'll talk about some baseball playoffs. We'll even have the live game 2 of the Cubs-Brewers game on as well. So we'll be doing that and the Monday Night Football game with Kansas City and the Jags. So a lot going on next week. Champ, let everyone know what's happening with the No Spots podcast this week, and then we'll find a place to raid.
Yeah, so this week on No Spots, we are going to be talking about No Mercy. No Mercy took place this past weekend. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to look back on the week that was and all that good stuff. We're going to be on a special time streaming live at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. Cannot wait. It'll be myself and the Sith talking some wrestling with you guys on both Twitch and Kick at True No Spots Pod, as well as on Facebook, facebook.com/No Spots Pod. Make sure y'all check that out. It's going to be a fun time because it is a fun time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, it's exciting. I want to give one more shout out to Almal Music. Thank you again for the raid. That is awesome. A big fan of yours and the community over there. If you want some great freestyles, you can go check him out. He's also on all music platforms as well, and he's a fun person to go smoke and hang out with, and so I highly recommend that. Obviously, go check out the No Spots Pod. And oops, I shouted out the wrong one. So the True No Spots Pod. There we go. So follow that one. DC People's Champ. They talk about WWE, New Japan, and we had Sith on earlier. You can catch him over there. Lots of great stuff from Champ and the gang, and so. Well, definitely got a big week coming up, so go check that out over the weekend. Come back on Monday. We'll talk about all the different sports as we get ready in a couple of weeks. I'm just really excited. Hopefully I'll be able to watch those hockey games, but on the 13th, to be able to talk about the Capitals as well as watching us take on the Bears live. That'll be a fun show on the 13th. And then we've got some big shows coming up on the 20th. And then on the 27th, we'll have a live game against Kansas City. So another watch-along game coming up. It's a big month for us here on Sports on the Hill podcast. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been episode 384. Let me find a place for us to raid real quick, and then we'll head over there.
By the way, they just mentioned on Sports Center that the Rams become the Niners become the first underdog team this season to win on Thursday night.
Yeah, the person I was about to raid just went offline, so I'm happy I didn't do that.
Oops.
Exactly. Who do we want to raid tonight? There's so many people on. Be funny if we just raided into the post game show on Prime Sports.
That'd be hilarious.
All right, we're gonna go. I have a friend. Let's see, how long has she been on? The Roxy Paradox, and all right, I haven't seen her in a long time. She's a good person. I'll just raid over to her. Who is Roxy Paradox? So she is a Canadian singer-songwriter of mixed heritage, can sing in multiple languages, including English, French, Spanish, Persian, Italian, Japanese, and Chinese. I find music to be the best therapy for stress and anxiety. So it's kind of and she wants to be a Disney princess, and so they're streaming music right now. So we're gonna give them a shout out, and we're gonna head over to there, and do the raid calls and the sub raid, so people can grab whatever call, and we will. I'm gonna grab this one. I'm gonna do this one. All right, we're going to raid over there right now. Thank you, Champ. Thank you, Sith. I'm sorry, KR, that didn't work out, but we will definitely get you on in the short term. And for your sake, I hope that Toronto does really well. I know it's going to be an interesting battle. I know for my dad, he wants the Yankees to do well. So we'll often talk about that, the baseball, upcoming hockey season, all the football action, and the live football and live baseball next week on Sports on the Hill podcast for episode 385. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks again for the raid and for the new follows. Appreciate it all. And we will talk to you next week.
Go Gigeño. Sayonara.